Hey, come one and come all. It's time for the feedback loop. Chris Courtney doing a little bit of a later rendition of the feedback loop today. Had some earlier technical difficulties, so they're re-recording. Um, the Today we've got it's a light load coming out the weekend, and Chelsea's in here, and I wanted to be sure to take time to really focus in on um, this most pivotal point in the UX design process, and that is user stories and user flows. Now you pivotal point in the UX design process, or actually in the product design process, which is user stories. It's that moment when things cross over from being research into the actual, what are the actual actions that our prescribed users are going to be taking as they work through the problems. So Chelsea's got her work in here, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can jump into this. I think it's really important to spend some time here working through the user stories. Now, if you remember, if you following along, you know that Chelsea was working on her personas last, and she identified some particular types of personas. There were parents involved, there were teachers, students. All of these people are are impacted, not infected, impacted by the changes that are happening inside of classrooms because of COVID-19. And in the move to a remote learning experience, there were a few things that were really critical that were negatively impacting students and teachers and parents alike. And a lot of it came down to communication. And a lot of the discovery could be bucketed into one of two things. There were product issues, and then there were service issues. And what I mean by that is there are issues that could be addressed by the the issues that could be addressed through the changes in terms of processes that could be built in that are not related to like a product that you and I as designers might build. For instance, if there is a program to give out Wi-Fi hotspots to students, so say that a student has trouble connecting to the internet, there might be like we could build a platform that says, "Hey, report your Wi-Fi hotspot issue, so we can send you one." But if they don't have if they don't have internet connection to begin with, how are they going to how are they going to report that issue? So there's some service level adjustments that need to be made to address things like that. For in there, like there's a few other things here. So there's one here that's fits in that service category that Chelsea's identified. So and this is like the user is like all of these people, parent, teacher, everybody. I want computing devices to only load the platform during school hours, so that I can eliminate distractions. That is like saying I want an operating system level thing to happen to lock down distractions that are possible to a particular student. That's something that I don't think we can necessarily design for, but that is something that we recognize as an issue. Distractions are an issue for students. So maybe that is something that you identify and you report that in. Okay, so all of our research isn't something that we necessarily will directly address in the product that we build, but some of that stuff are findings that you'll report to other departments, and that's one of the things that she's focused on there. But our main goal here is to focus on, okay, what can we build into a product that would make things better for the personas and the users that we've identified. And a lot of times there's a two-way street that's active here. One side of it is I want to I want to view a particular action, or I want to do a particular thing. But on the other side of it, I need somebody to upload that. So let's take, for instance, if I said, as a teacher, I need to grade student assignments. Okay, so that's one side of it. On the other side of it, as a student, I need to upload my assignments. So for a teacher to grade the assignment, the student has to upload the assignment. Okay, and we got to look out for the two-way streets that exist in terms of our user stories, so that the ability to capture one side is also met by the ability to push from the other. So, for instance, if the parent says, I want to view all of my child's grades, somewhere in here there has to be a teacher user story that says, I want to input my students' grades, okay? Because without the teacher having the ability to input the student grade, the parent doesn't have the ability to view the student grade, all right? And each side of that, you have to ask yourself, okay, have I addressed this in a manner that makes the other user story possible? This is often really a two-sided or three-sided group of interaction. Okay, there's really three sides. There's the student who's doing the work. There's a teacher who's updating, and she's updating the assignments, and she's also grading the assignments. And then there's the parent who's checking in. So there's three distinctly different users that are involved in this solution. So the teacher, I want to view a student's profile. So that means that the student, teacher, and parent need to be able to create a student profile. Now, in some cases, I wonder if the question I have is, does the teacher and student create their profile, or is that something handled by a school administrator? Like, could I come on and just create my profile, or is that assigned to me by the school? It seems like from a security settings perspective, I wouldn't want just anybody to be able to come in and create student profiles or create profiles. So that's something that you would need to work through. I do agree on the baseline, though, that like a teacher, student, and parent, they need to at least complete the user profile. Okay, so think about it from the perspective of, okay, if this is a secure platform, does anybody just create a profile? The answer is likely no. There's probably some sort of protective mechanism in there, and some of that is as a student, teacher, parent, I need to confirm my identity. So like there's going to be some sort of authentication that says, yes, I in fact am a student of the school or a teacher of the school, and I need to confirm that this is my profile. So that piece is not necessarily here, and that is something that is uniquely new user. So, student, I want to create a new profile, or student, teacher, parent, create a new profile. That's new user. I want the platform to archive my messages and alerts. That's not necessarily new user. That is probably something that goes over into this returning user bucket. And I'm going to place that over here. And you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, what's the difference between the two? And let's think about this activity. If I have messages that are coming through in the platform, that means I'm already a member, I'm already a user of that platform. A new user would not have this concern. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete that one from the user stories here. Now, we can go through and massage this list later, but this is all about keeping in mind, when does that need happen? When does the need to archive my messages occur? Well, it occurs after I've been a user on the platform for a while. Okay? So I want the platform to alert me whenever there's an update from school administrators. Okay. so I can see all the information related to the school on one platform. Um, yeah, I that's kind of I can see like I want the platform to alert me. Um, it is your concern really that you want to see all the information on one platform, or is the concern so I can keep up to date on things that are changing at the school? And that's where the goal really comes into play. It's not necessarily, the reason that you want this platform to alert you isn't necessarily because it's all important that it's on one platform. Yes, I do want it on one platform, but my real goal there is to keep up with activity at the school. Okay? So there, I like the task. I don't necessarily like the goal. And in all honesty, the goal is really secondary here until it comes time to determine what we're going to build. The task is all I'm really interested in terms of finding the user stories. But later when I go, okay, what are we building first? That goal really comes into play because I'm going to go back to the persona and I'm going to say, okay, does this goal align with the goals that we identified earlier? And if it doesn't, maybe I don't build that right now. Okay? So keep that in mind. Like task is right now, goal is going to be we're going to begin leaning on that more soon. School administrator, I want to send out alerts and messages. School administrator, I want to create a school profile that is visible to everyone. So school administrator, I want to, so that I can display crucial updates about the school in one place. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, why do I want this profile? So all the updates about that school appear on this page. That's legit. I could totally get down with that. A lot of these school administrator tasks are very they're very returning user. As a new user, things like site tutorial makes sense. Creating a user profile makes sense. As we come down, a lot of this is alerts, and I know that we talked about that. So here's a great one. I want to prioritize assignments based on due dates, so I can stay organized with my schoolwork. That's fantastic. What I want to look at now is, so I'm looking for teachers. So I've got teacher progress, teacher send messages, teacher alert, teacher profiles, teacher class profile, teacher alert, teacher one-on-one virtual meetings. That's something that we'll come back to that in a minute. Teacher view access, view absences, teacher view platform on multiple devices, teacher computing devices. Okay, so what's missing here from this one in particular? I want the platform to prioritize my assignments based on the due date. As a teacher, I need to be able to make assignments and assign due dates. Okay? I don't have the other side of this coin. All right? And again, this is again one of those issues that this is really a returning user that would want to prioritize. A new user, they're just kind of setting up their account. A returning user is like, okay, show me my assignments and let me sort them. And what you're basically saying is I need filtering functions. Okay, I need the ability to, it's kind of like if I reorder this, you can sort sheet in Google spreadsheets. That's the same thing that you're saying. You just want to be able to sort by date, and that's a great thing to have in a user story. That's very logical. But on the other side of that, I need the teacher side of that coin. So if I want to view prioritize the assignments, the teacher has to first make the assignments. All right, and that's kind of the story with all of these things. There was the other one that I wanted to come to as well. So I'm going to delete this real fast. This one, and I'm going to highlight this one because I think it's really important to kind of acknowledge that not the platform doesn't have to be everything. Okay? And we've talked about alerts and assignments and being able to keep up with things and see grades. I think those are things that are uniquely suited for a school platform. The one-on-one meetings is saying that I'm going to build a video meeting conferencing component on top of this. And I don't necessarily think that that is necessary. There's so many different ways that teachers and students can meet. There's things like Discord, there's things like Zoom, there's FaceTime, there's Google Meet. There's like all of these tools that exist for that. That this might be something that a teacher says, I want to be able to host meetings on the platform. That's great. But then it comes down to the question of, okay, where's the line for this product? What are we going to build, and what are we just going to buy or use for, if somebody else has a platform like Google Meet, they can use it for free. Do I need to build that? Do I need to build that ability to meet one-on-one, or is that already out there and I just need to like leverage it? That could be a link, like in an assignment for a student. It could be, we're going to meet on this day, and here's your link. Click here, and it opens up a Google Meet or a Zoom meeting. So I don't necessarily think that piece necessarily fits the criteria of the problem. And the problem was, I'm unable to keep up with all of the assignments and all of the activities in one place. Now I'm going to play devil's advocate on myself, and I'm going to say, well, doesn't student meetings count as activities in one place? And again, it comes down, this is where I think we're officially in the border zone of the product. Like, are there things that do this well that already exist that we can leverage, or do we really need to build this particular thing? From what I gathered in reading your research, Chelsea, I thought the big thing was that there were all of these assignments on different platforms, and that was the problem. There were all these like alerts about the schools in different places, and that was the problem. And creating that hub of communication and tracking, I think, is very much in the wheelhouse. And most of the stuff that you have here, like I want to view the student profile, I want the platform to alert me when there's updates, I want to be able to message the school officials when my child is going to be absent, because there is no calling the school. There's no calling the school front desk when there is no front desk, right? So we have to have the ability to do that communication. I want the platform to alert me when I'm excelling in school. Okay, so if that's a pretty interesting aspect. Like, so often we talk about these platforms as like, tell me when something bad's happening. What if the platform like messaged the parent and said, hey, by the way, Jay got a 92 on the spelling quiz. You might want to mention it. You might want to give him an extra cookie or something. I don't know. And I think that Tanya scored great on her math quiz. That's a really excellent. You kind of threw it in there at the end, and it might have even been a reach, but it's an excellent way to foster a more positive attitude between parent, teacher, and school. I really like that, but again, that goes into like, there's this whole suite of alerts, okay? And like, this is the student. I wonder if that's the right user for that positive feedback. I wonder if the right user for that is the parent. Because if the student gets the alert, the student then has to go inform the parent. But would it be awesome if it was the other way around? Like, the parent was like, hey, I heard you did really well in your quiz. congratulations, here's some ice cream, or here's some Legos. I don't know, whatever you give a kid when they do something well. Here's a you know, bowl of strawberries. I don't know. What do you do when a kid does well? It's so rare that we actually celebrate that properly. I'm a parent. I don't even know really what to do. By the way, it's typically French fries. If anybody's wondering, it's typically French fries. I do hand cut, crinkle cut fries, air fryer. I make my own. Anyway, my whole point here, Chelsea, is that you've got a lot of good ideas. Some of these belong in returning users. Some of these need the other side of the transaction. Okay. And viewing the student profile, I need to create the student profile. I need to confirm that it is my profile for security purposes. But I also, there's a big piece of this, which is teacher needs to make assignment, right? And the other, and I want to drill down a little bit further. Like when I make an assignment, is it just text? Like what else do I need as a teacher? What else do I need to put with that? Do I need to attach PDFs? Do I need to attach links? Probably. Do I need to put a date on it for the yes, because you said you wanted to sort by date later. So there's more than just as a teacher I want to make assignments. It's as a teacher I want to make assignments, and then as a teacher I want to attach PDFs, YouTube links, due dates. Like, so there's a couple of user stories in there that are specific. And what's really important is that you realize that when you go to build out the product, there's a user story for the teacher and there's a user story for the parent and student, and they have to travel together. You can't cut one and have the other and keep the other one, because if I say I want to view the grades and you say, well, I got to cut uploading the grade. As a teacher, I need to input grades. Great. As a parent, I want to view grades. Can't build that one yet. You can't, one doesn't work without the other. All right? I can't view the assignments if the assignments haven't been input. Okay? So those are the two sides of the coin. I would like to see, I'd like you to go through this list and figure out, okay, where's the other side of it that's missing? Are there things that I haven't considered that need to be on the other side? Like, for instance, student here, underperforming student profile, student reminder for about upcoming assignment. Where does the student submit the assignment? Like, as a student, I need to submit my work. I need to submit work to complete an assignment. Like, that's the missing side of this. Like, I'm finding out the assignment is due. I'm not seeing when the assignment is created. I'm also not seeing how I complete the assignment. But I am seeing, tell me when the assignment's due. So you see there's some missing pieces there. Let's flesh that out, and then tomorrow let's get this updated. Then tomorrow let's jump into flows on. Maybe we jump into the flows on assignment. Maybe we jump into the flows on setting up alerts. Okay, like there are multiple flows that I can see here that touch on on each of the users you've identified. So we can go a lot of different directions, but we need both sides of those transactions. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to wrap this up. I hope that this was helpful for you to get kind of a view in on writing user stories and the two sides. I really think these two-sided economies are really important. Like, I want to do the thing, but to do that thing, somebody else has to be involved, and I have to make it possible for them to do their side of it before I can do my side of it. And if you can do that, if you can identify the two, sometimes three sides of the transaction, you can then build a product. All right. Without further ado, I'm Chris Courtney. This has been the Feedback Loop. I'll chat with all of you tomorrow.